Today we're going to talk about prayer. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing we're all looking for, to be well. We get ourselves in situations, or situations arise in our lives, and so we pray. And oftentimes it's the prayer that discourages us the most. Not the actual prayer, but often when the prayer seems not to be answered, or just isn't answered, or just doesn't come in the way in which we had desired, and we bear this negativity. It puts us back. Sort of like when you're quitting cigarettes or some kind of addictive thing, and you're so gung-ho because you know it's the right thing to do, and you try and you go for a while and you're positive, and then you find yourself sucked right back into it. It's like, man, this isn't going to work, you know. And so what I believe is that we approach prayer at times that in an ineffective way, simply because we don't know, we don't understand. We just feel that there's this genie in the sky, God, that we can just rub that lamp or say a few words, or make a few promises or commitments, and it'll happen, okay? And so I want to clear up the myths today, because I think this is a very important part in most of our lives. It's simply the misunderstanding. And the misunderstanding often leads to discouragement. So we're going to try to clear that up today. I think that sometimes we do look for quick fixes when we're facing terrible situations, but often these terrible situations took a while to create, you know, and we created them often. I look at it sometimes, as gross as this might seem, like a clogged drain or a clogged toilet or something, you know. It just didn't clog. It just didn't happen. It took time. It took maybe months and years of simply not tending, you know, to what we should have been, or taking care of how we should have, and eventually it gets clogged. Okay, and so it didn't happen overnight, in other words. And so oftentimes, most often, the answer is not going to happen overnight. And that's a pretty discouraging thing, because often we're faced with a critical situation, you know, and we have to have it fixed overnight, you know, and things just don't work that way. Not usually, but they do sometimes, okay? So we're going to talk about this. We're going to get effective. We're going to make this thing an effective prayer conversation, so that by the time we're done here, yeah, we can pray in confidence and believe. I see this also like maybe exercise. I often joke around, you know, with my family members. You know, I'm 65 years old and I'm in pretty good health for a 65-year-old man. And I often say, you know, this didn't happen. This just didn't happen, you know. And it didn't. It took years and years, over a decade of exercises, and every day, or pretty much every day, and trying to eat right most of the time. And this is what happens, okay? It didn't just appear. Okay, I didn't just want to be in shape and all of a sudden I was. You know, years ago I had a health scare or two. I thought I was having a heart attack. Turned out to be gas. But it just got me to thinking. You know, most of the time what we do, too often we do when we have these health issues, we live any kind of way. You know, we don't eat right, we don't exercise, we just don't do any of the things that we're supposed to do, and all of a sudden something happens, we do get a heart attack, or we do have a clogged this or a clogged that, and then at that point, you know, we get it treated, and then we try to start doing right. And what I share with my kids all the time is it's a lot easier to stay well than it is to get well after you've become sick, okay? But usually for most of us, being sick is the catalyst to get us to start trying to act well. And what's interesting or unfortunate is that too often, once we get that scare, once we have the situation, we take the corrective action, we begin doing the right things, the exercise, the eating right, or whatever. It's not long before we fall back into our old habits, okay? So it just doesn't stick. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, because we're going to make it stick. We want to figure that out, right? So I guess first thing we want to do to have an effective prayer is to begin examining ourselves, okay? When I see prayer, I mean, of course, we embrace God, Allah, Yahweh, whatever. But what I would suggest, even from a secular point of view, okay? so we can combine these so everybody can get something from this program, is that I want to say that there's this flow. There's this flow. It's like a current, you know, when you go into an ocean and you're trying to swim and you're trying to flow against the current, you're hardly not going to get anywhere. Okay? But once you realize which way the waves are going and you start swimming with the flow, you get to where you're going extremely quickly. It's a whole lot easier with very minimal stress and activity on your part. Okay. And so that's what I want to see. There's like this, to me, there's like this spiritual flow of goodness, okay? And we just need to find a way to step into it, okay? Hold on a second, jeez. Five, four, three, two, one. And so then goodness is the key, okay? Good, morality. Is the thing that you want to happen good? Now that's very important because it's like futile to begin to pray and believe for something that's not good. So is it good? Is it moral? Is it just? Is it not desiring an ill for someone else, you know? Let it always be in the positive. Now I know as we walk this walk in life, there are people that really get on our nerves, people that really do wrong, people that do us wrong at times. But if for your prayers to be answered, you have to be in a positive flow, okay? And so whatever there is this concept in life called what goes around comes around. There's a biblical version of that same concept called you reap what you sow. And now that's good and bad, okay? So let that particular concept, or let that law be effective in this individual's life. Don't waste your time praying for something negative to happen to that person, because it's not going to happen. You know, something might happen simply because of that law of sowing and reaping, and then you're going to be thinking you created it by your prayer. It's not happening. It's not that. So focus on the good. So the good would be you, would be your life, okay? What kind of things you want to see happen in your life, or what kind of things you want to see, good things you want to see happen in the lives of your loved ones, or even your friends, okay? What your function, in order to have your prayers answered, they have to be good. They have to be in that flow of good and moral, okay? It's that we must examine our own lives. You know, we use that analogy as we opened about that clogged pipe or that clogged toilet or something. You know, what we want to happen here as we are praying, as we are believing and praying, that we are like this unclogged vessel, okay? That the blessing, or that the answered prayer, the goodness is going to flow through, okay? And what clogs that vessel up is immorality, is negativity, is dishonesty, is hypocrisy, all those things, okay? So we have to get ourselves unclogged. So the initial prayers that we should be praying, whether it's we want to see a move in our lives or somebody else's lives, is for our own lives, because we have to clean up our own act. Now, I don't mean that we have to be perfect, because if that were the case, nobody's prayers would ever be answered. But we do have to be for real. We do have to be honest. And so how do we get there? How do we get this whole thing is a spiritual thing, all right? So what I'm saying, you're not going to have to do push-ups. You're not going to have to do sit-ups. This is simply about recognizing that there is a divine flow and understanding how to pray, okay? And so the first thing we have to recognize that we have to clean up our own act. If I want my kid to be well, and I want to be a conduit to that blessing into that child's life, I'm going to have to be free of the clogs, okay? So I'm going to be the one that I'm going to be praying for first. Now I'm not suggesting that this is going to be like a week-long process. It's the moment, okay? But you have to be for real. See, you know, unfortunately, in churches and in mosques and synagogues or whatever, you know, we can be hypocritical. We can be two-faced. We can be presenting an image of something that we are not, and nobody will know, okay? But when it comes down to getting into this divine flow, when it comes to a loved one's life or a friend's life being impacted positively by our prayers, we can't be that way. We have to be real. We have to be right, okay? So begin to pray. You know, God, take everything out of me that is not right, okay? That is not good. Fill me afresh with your goodness, okay? Let your power rest upon my life, okay? So all positive things, but getting me out of the way. If there's issues in my life that I am not happy with, begin to pray about those. Just ask about those, all right? And so just go through your life. You know, I would suggest that whatever you want to see done in someone else's life, you know, from a positive way, as far as an effect on their lives and all, recognize that you need to be that way too, okay? Now, if you're 65 like me, not that I can run a mile and a half, you know, we don't need to do that. But just the issues in life, the things that are blocking us. And most important, be strategic. Be strategic in your prayers. And instead of focusing on, I need to stop smoking cigarettes, or I should stop cussing my neighbor out, or I should... No, just remove everything from me that is not good. See, that's a strategic prayer. Now, there's so many things, don't pinpoint things, just strategic. Get yourself out of the way. And what I want to suggest is that this is a daily prayer. This is a consistent prayer. We're going to adjust the end of ourselves, whatever we're looking for in our lives, or the lives of our loved ones or our friends and all. But whatever it is, whatever they are, recognize that these prayers must be consistent. You know, we also have issues like when we're trying to get on a new diet plan, you know, or exercise plan or whatever, and it works for about a week or two, and then we stop. It's not going to work like that. This has to be for real, and I'm going to share with you why. Because the key to your wellness, the key to your answered prayers, the key to the answered prayers in the lives of your loved ones has to do with what you believe, okay? And you simply saying it, or maybe reading it in a holy book, and I believe it, that's not believing it. The believing it is deep, deep inside. Do you really believe it, okay? And most of us don't. See, we can believe it up here in our minds, but do we really, really believe it, okay? Because if you really, really believed it, you'd be walking in it. It's just that simple. So we don't. And that is the purpose. That is the purpose of prayer. So what I want to share with you, as I suggested, we pray for the things that we really need, you know, pinpoint strategically, and ask for that. But after that, don't ask for that or those things anymore. Okay? Because if I ask for something, say in prayer, today, and then tomorrow, and it hasn't happened, okay? And then tomorrow I ask for it again, and it hasn't happened, and the next day I ask for it again, in my mind, all that's being solidified in my mind is that it hasn't happened. It's going against my faith, although I'm speaking these words that seem to resemble belief and prayer and desire. And I'm acknowledging that it hasn't happened each time I ask for it again, okay? Now even from a biblical perspective, there is a definition of faith. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Okay, and so whether it's in the spirit, whether it's a religious attitude, or whether it's a secular attitude, even though you don't see it, believe that it's there. So from a secular perspective, you could use this quantum physics thing, recognizing that just because you don't see it, you know, doesn't mean it's not there. And it's there somewhere. You just have to access it. So that's from the secular quantum physics side. But from the spiritual and religious side, is faith is the evidence of things not seen, and so believe that you have it even though you don't see it. And you're saying, wow, how can I really believe that? That's hard. That's true. It's very hard. It's very difficult. So this is where the rest of your prayers forever for that situation is not asking for it, it's thanking for it. So if this time, so I say, you know, take everything out of me that's not right, okay? That's not good. And so then I would begin praying, thank you for taking everything out of me that's not good, okay? Even though I'm probably still not good, but the evidence of things not seen, that's what faith is. So I prayed one time to take everything out of me that's not good. So the next moment, and I would suggest in the same prayer right after you say it, so I just now prayed for it, take everything out of me that's not good, thank you for taking everything out of me that's not good, you know? But place everything within me that should be there. Thank you for placing everything in me that should be there. Thank you for ordering my footsteps, you know. or praying for, please order my footsteps, and then thank you for ordering my footsteps, okay? Thank you. I then ask for, protect me all along this way that you ordered my footsteps. Now thank you for protecting me all of this way that you ordered my footsteps, okay? And so from then on, this is your prayer. Your prayer is no longer asking for. Your prayer is thanking for it, even though you don't see it. You're thanking for it simply because it's there, okay? Even though you don't see it. That's faith, and that's real. And at first it might be difficult. It might be difficult to believe. But what I'm suggesting is as just like exercise, or just like getting that clog unclogged. I mean, it's not going to go through the first time. It might not go through the second time. It might take 20 times. So what I'm suggesting is, and that's just the clog. So what I'm suggesting is this is how we have to respond to giving thanks that it's done, even though you don't see the evidence. And your faith is building. Each time you do that, your belief is building. And you'll come to the point where you're simply believing that it's done, even though you don't see it. You're giving thanks. Giving thanks. And be consistent. So what I would suggest, even in this scenario that I just presented, with the taking everything out of me that's not good and filling me with what is good, and your power resting on me, and then thanking you for those. Thank every day for that. And what I would suggest is find the same time of the day, each day, to go through that same thing. And recognize that each time you speak that out, you're believing it more and more, okay? And that's just for you. And that might be your situation right now. You just might be looking for your situation. Your situation might be an opportunity that you need to arrive. Ask for, I need an opportunity to arrive that I could become successful. Then from then on, thank you for that opportunity. Open my eyes so that I might see everything before me that I should see. And then thank you for opening my eyes. I mean, don't be stingy with that. Be strategic with your prayer and try to cover all bases. But from then on, after you've asked for it, simply begin thanking. Thanking. And be so strategic that the answer, that the result will be so effective in your life for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, okay? And so then you can transfer that to your kids, or to your friends, or whatever loved ones that are in your life, once you've cleared you, because you want to make sure your mind is right. Okay, and so even you make sure make sure my mind is right. That would be a prayer. And then thank you for making sure my mind is right. I mean, I'm just flowing with this right now. Come up with strategic prayers that's going to ensure your victory. Man, I realize that. Now, from a believer's side, I had been an atheist for like 10 years. When I came into this thing, it wasn't because of a church or a preacher or anything. I just had like this epiphany one night at home by myself. And so God is real to me. And so then if you're real, then this stuff is going to have to happen. So I'm going to begin praying. But I realized early on, if God is real for me and answers prayers for me, then I have to be strategic in my prayers to make sure nothing gets missed. And this is not a greed-based prayer. Oh, God, give me $1 million just for the sake of it. No. I mean, this is... And I don't even want to put a dollar on it, or I just want to share with you, your motivation has to be just. It has to be pure. And if that might be a question, or even if it's not, pray for that. God, please make sure my motivations are just and my motivations are pure. And then, thank you for making my motivations being just and my motivations being pure. And then pray that every day. Thankful for that every day. Thankful for that every day. And there will be a moment where your motivations will be just and will be pure. It's as simple as that. And then you just have the patience. You just keep doing it. You keep doing it. And you're growing, you're growing and growing. Man, physical body, man. I've had physical ailments, man. I had an abdominal injury that was terrible. It lasted for a few months. I thought it was a hernia or something. I went through that, I begin to put lotion on, and when I get, me, of course, just getting ready for work and all, but every time I get to my stomach, I have to be thankful for the healing. I'm thankful for the healing. That's what I would say. And you'd say it so often, so many times, the doubt for the healing begins to dissipate. And this is just part of your routine, is thankful for the healing. And you, even on a subconscious level, begin believing that. That's where the key is. Because the key to prayers being answered is your belief. Your belief is the thing that manifests the answers to the prayers in your life. Now, I'm not saying is you're the source. We could debate that all day, and who would really know? It would just be a matter of opinion. He's not pulling it from the quantum realm, or it's God, or it's the God in me, or however you want to say it. But what I'm suggesting to you, it is your belief which makes it happen. So this is what I'm sharing with you today, is how to create that belief, is to ask for a thing and then be thankful for it consistently every day, and your belief will happen. Okay? You can't make your belief happen. You can't force it to happen. It happens. And if you look for some scriptural backup, there's a particular story in Scripture where this man brought his son to Jesus. No, brought his son to the disciples, because the disciples were out healing folks. And he had some kind of affliction, some kind of spiritual malady. Something was wrong with him. And he would fall on the ground convulsing. He was just jacked up. And the disciples couldn't fix him, couldn't heal him. So they took the man to Jesus. The disciples, took the man to Jesus, and we can't heal this guy, this kid. And then Jesus said to the man, if you believe, all things are possible. Do you believe? And immediately the man said, yes, I believe. And then the scripture story says he follows up saying, Lord, help my unbelief. So whenever I look at that man, I would see something very deep there. But initially when the man said, I believe, it's because that was his natural response. That's all of our natural response. We want to look good. We want to look like we're doing right. Look like we're responding to situations. Yes, I believe. But at that moment, I believe that man looked at his son, who he loved so much, who was suffering with this terrible affliction. And he had to, I think, ask himself, is this image that I'm portraying to all people, like I am a man of faith, I am a man of this, and I am strong in my convictions and beliefs and all? Or do I humble myself for the sake of my son and share with everybody who's watching me that I need help in my belief? I'm not all that. And I believe he recognized that. So first he said, yes, I believe. But then he said, help my unbelief. And that right there is a prayer. An issue and it's right there in Scripture, this man talking to Jesus. Okay, if you're having a problem with your belief, that's another one of your prayers. God, help my unbelief. And then from then on, thank you for helping my unbelief. Thank you for helping me to believe. Thank you for helping me see what I'm supposed to be seeing, man. Man, there are all kinds of stories in the Bible. It's a great place when Jesus walks up to the blind man, blind Bartimaeus. And he says to him, he says, well, what would you have me do for you? Now, what kind of question is that? To a blind man. And a blind man is like, that I might see. And Jesus' response was that it's by your faith. So he might see. So what does that mean? Let's apply it to exactly what we're talking about today. Seeing is your belief. Ask for a thing and then be thankful for it. Formally thankful for it in prayer. Consistently. Every day. It might take time. For my abdominal injury, man, went away. It was like 6 to 8 months. And so what I'm sharing with you right now, if you're watching this program, I know you may be in a desperate situation and you may be praying and looking for a situation to be resolved immediately. Well, just hang in there and be patient. But I would suggest don't wait for a situation to arrive. Hopefully you're watching this program and you don't have a situation that you're facing. You just start exercising now before the heart attack, okay? And the heart attack will never get there. All right? Now let me share, as we close here, some encouragement to those of you who might be going through some things, that you need an immediate resolution to. Okay. But let me tell you, resolutions aren't usually immediate, but they are sometimes. But what was I going to say? Is that often the life that we are cleaning up, okay, is that in itself is going to create some of the positive results that we're looking for in life, okay? Like we're looking for a financial situation to improve, okay? But we've been drinking and getting high, getting a buzz, buying stuff, buying this, all this stuff, and that we're spending our money on. I mean, when I first had my epiphany and stopped, all the stuff I was doing, man, I was saving a whole bunch of money because I wasn't going out to the clubs every night after that. I wasn't spending money on the alcohol or whatever, So that was money right there. I stopped going to fast food restaurants, I started doing wise grocery shopping. That, you go out to a restaurant or something, you might spend $50. But if you're in a grocery store and you buy a bag of potatoes and some spinach salad or something, or macaroni and cheese, rice, whatever it is you buy, your money goes a lot further in a grocery store with wise shopping. Okay, so part of your prayer. So maybe you're saying, God, my money isn't acting right. Thank you, please fix my situation. And now you're thanking God for that every day. You're going to be getting this wisdom, instead of going out and blowing my money here or at a restaurant, I'm going to go to the grocery store and purchase wisely. Because what I'm going to share with you is many of the positive answers that begin enveloping our lives are simply the wise choices that we begin to make. And so again, diverting your money from the club and the restaurants, man, just think about the clubs and the restaurants in 1 week, man. That could be right there $300. Imagine $300. How far is $300 in groceries going to go? Okay? I'm just saying, you're going to be getting the ideas. So you're opening yourself up. You're unclogging yourself. Guess what? That clog doesn't go one way. So as well, you're the conduit to help in the lives of your young people, your kids or your friends or your loved ones and all. You're also helping yourself. There's going to be a flow, and you're going to be getting ideas that are going to be making yourself better, making yourself way better. And so that is the motivation. Your life is going to clean up. You're going to be seeing ideas that are going to be lucrative ideas that are going to be helping you. Your health might be an issue. So when you stop doing all those things, your health is going to, I'm telling you, I could go on and on, but you see the point, right? Okay? As you begin honestly praying, getting in the flow, that flow is going to guide you and direct you to the places that you're supposed to be, that's going to be best for you, best for your life. Okay? And you're going to find yourself in a position. I was sharing with someone recently that your destination hardly ever resembles the path that you took to get there. Okay? And so this is the positive thing. Often in the negative, your path very much resembles your destination. But a lot of the things we do, we don't think we're going to end up sick. We don't think we're going to end up jobless. We don't think we're going to end up broke or poor or any of those things. That wasn't, if we had recognized that was the destination, and we wouldn't have stayed on that path, okay? So what I'm suggesting today is just recognizing this for now. It's the same way out. As you begin focusing positively and finding that flow and strategically praying and being good and moral and being thankful, and as your faith grows and grows and grows, you're gonna pray and believe yourself right out of whatever mess you're in, and you're gonna be new and improved. And I'm not speaking theory right now. I'm telling you from personal experience in a big way. I am very, very well right now. It's not necessarily because of my good sense. It's simply because of an effective prayer life that has taken me from where I was to where I am right now. And so I'm giving you that encouragement. And I'll tell you what, as we close here, I don't know how far you are, how close you are to whatever it is you're desiring or you want to achieve. But another prayer, ask God to keep you into a positive mindset, keep your spirits up, keep you satisfied in this process, and then thank you for you getting a positive mindset. Thank you for keeping my spirits up. Thank you for keeping me well through my process. Man, that's strategic prayer, man. And I'm just thinking this just while I'm talking to you, but you be considering it. What's the most strategic? Pray strategically. Has to be good, has to be moral, has to be not negative, not against someone, always positive. And be strategic. Oh man. And even pray, God, help me pray strategically. And then thank you for helping me strategically. Man, this is the way I roll. I'm not going to leave any gap for any mistake. I'm going to make sure I cover all my bases. So if I need to pray strategically, and that's the key, then I'm going to ask, help me pray strategically. And then from then on, thank you for helping me pray strategically. Man, these prayers probably last like 15 minutes as you go through it. Because you're no longer asking after you've asked that one time. From then you're thanking. And each time you're thanking for what you've asked for, even though it hasn't happened yet, is building your faith on a subconscious level. And your faith, your belief, is the key to manifesting whatever it is you're looking for.